Hey guys, how's it going? Clayton Motos here. So, if you take a look over here, the YZ looks a little bit different. It's really hard to tell what's different about it, but it is something. Let me know if you can find it out. Spoiler alert, we took the top end off. So, and the little teaser that y'all got in the last video, there was a backfire as a result from the push starting. And so we took the head off. It's all very organized. Not really. You know, we got the head here, cylinders here, piston and stuff is still on the bike because the rings seem to be in good shape. So we did a leak down test, which is essentially you take compressed, thank you. So you take compressed air and you put it in a little doohickey that shoots it in through the spark plug hole, and wherever air comes out of the bike is where you don't have a good seal. So we had air coming out of the intake boot and the exhaust pipe, which let us know that there was a valve issue. Something was wrong with the valves. So when we took off the valves, this intake had severe carbon buildup, and both of the exhausts did. So we cleaned that up. We used WD-40 and a Scotch-Brite pad, put the valves into the drill and spun it around. It was really, really easy. So we got that all figured out. We cleaned the head so it looks, oops. So it looks decent, not beautiful, but decent. Where does this go? Oh, this way. Okay. So anyway, we did all that. Hopefully it works. I don't know. But now we're gonna put the head back together. Since I didn't record us taking it apart, I feel kind of bad about that. But I was in kind of a bad mood about something. I don't know. So we're gonna go ahead and start putting the head back together. So the first step to this process is making sure that our rings are still in spec, because if the rings aren't in spec, then we need rings, and that's gonna suck. But lucky for me, I found a PDF for the ring gap. Okay, so we're doing the top ring right now. It's seated about, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch into the actual cylinder head right here, or cylinder, and it needs to have a gap of 0.15 to 0.25 millimeters. So let's find the camera. So the top piston ring needs to go in between the topmost intake gouge and the rightmost. About right there, you'd say, yeah? Okay, so those are all where they need to be. I'll try to work time into editing to elaborate some things, but I'm not very good at editing, so we'll see. So now we need to put on the piston. Okay guys, so the first thing that we're gonna do here is just put some, just what, 10W30 motor oil. Just put it around the piston, or the cylinder, just so that we can get really easy installation. Put it around like the edge here, just so that everything goes on real nice. And you're going to do the same thing over here on the piston itself. Okay, so now we're going to put the cylinder back on. If you have the time and money, go ahead and get a cylinder honing tool. It'll be really worth your while. So what you're going to do is you're going to have one person hold. It really helps to have somebody helping. All right. So what I need you to do, Mama, is I need you to compress the rings. There we go. Okay, so with the head, one really important thing to do is make sure that you have everything in the place that you got it. So with this head, one of the problems that we had was that the pieces for, well, the valve stem seals were bad. We could tell that because we took the engine. Wow, I'm just using all the wrong words today. We took the head, we poured gas into the bowl. So imagine that all the valves are still here. We poured gas into this right here, and all the gas drained through. It was really slow, but it did happen, and it was mostly through the exhaust side. We could see little bubbles that would come up. So we knew that the valve stem seals were bad. So what we're gonna do, and the whole reason that we took the motor apart, is to replace those. And we took the cylinder off just so we could inspect all of it down there. So we need to make sure that all of this is in the proper orientation and the way that we did it. Okay, so we had it sitting like this. So we're going to do the exhaust side first. We're going to take the valve. It's going to go up through here and up like that. Then we're going to take an exhaust valve stem seal. Very important that we do not mess these up. You're going to want these came dry. So we need a cap of motor oil. It's okay. We're just going to have a little cap of motor oil here. Drop the valve stem seal inside of it. Swish it around. And then take it back out. Then it goes with the gasket end up. Right onto the seal. Or the stem. The valve. And then just take a screwdriver and gently work it around the edges. Sometimes it helps to have two screwdrivers going at the same time. So you just work both sides of it gently, carefully, until you can feel it seat down. Put that back on. Okay, ours is on. Find the metal edge here. And just press down lightly onto the metal edge. So now you're going to take the spring and it goes over like that. And then we're going to need the help of our handy dandy spring compressor. Okay guys, so with your tool, it makes it super easy and simple. And I'm going to show you all how to do it. So we already did the exhaust side, so now we're doing the intake. Just got to make sure that we're doing the correct intake side. So the intake side that we need to do is this one right here. Okay, so you click it in like that. Then you have somebody hold that. Then you take your new valve stem seal right here. And you're gonna have your little cap of oil. You're just gonna drop it in there, flip it around, just so it's nice and lubricated. So it goes on real easy. Then it goes right over the valve stem. And you take a little screwdriver of any kind and just push down on it. Just be really careful. There's a first little lip there that you sometimes have to use your finger to get over. And then you just put it down. Then you press on the metal cap on 4 sides, just to make sure it seats good, but don't press on the gasket because you don't want to chip it. So the next thing is make sure that you take your spring and the colored end. I don't know. Here, let me try
Just
and
hold it farther away and it'll focus.
see that? The colored end right there. Actually helps if it's unfocused. You can kind of see the color right there. That end has the cap on top of it and goes on top. So now you take your tool and you're going to back it off and then center it. Got it? Find the...
Gotta move this over.
Got it? So finger tighten it and then take the rod. That's loosen.
I was gonna say, it's going the wrong way.
You tighten it just a little bit. You don't want to over tighten it and compress the spring too far. So then you take your keepers. I'm using a little plastic tweezer. You just drop it into one side. Right? And then you back off pressure. Guys, can y'all go away a little bit, like to the sidewalk?
Well, it came off the top.
Oh, it did? Where'd it go?
It's still there, it just,
Oh, okay.
it rose, so tighten it back down.
So you let off the pressure and then put pressure back on.
I think it, yeah, I think it's in there.
And then you should have a pretty good gap for the second keeper. Ugh. Yeah. Second keeper. It's a little slippery. Just drop it in. Then you back off pressure slowly so that the keeper can find its mark. And if you see them compressed together and the spring doesn't shoot back at you, you should be in pretty good shape. Okay, we're gonna see if all of our hard work paid off. Just take a little bit of gas. This is gonna be fun. Just take a little bit of gas. Whoa! I said a little bit. And then we wait. Wait.